Scarlett Johansson as the Black Widow is set to return to her very popular character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe early next year in the standalone Black Widow film, but over the years, Scarlett Johansson has provided a ton of hilarious moments on screen and in other types of media that have really built up a huge fan base surrounding her for her comedic abilities. And nowadays, Scarlett Johansson is actually kind of an iconic returning guest on Saturday Night Live because of some of the hilarious skits she's taken roles on in over the years. So today we are going to be taking a look at the best and funniest skits that Scarlett Johansson has starred in. Let's go ahead and jump into it.
Agent Romanoff, you miss me?
Oh yeah, Charles, we got ourselves an X-Men fan.
Captain.
Your Highness.
Captain, big fan, Spider-Man. Hey everyone.
But before we jump into this list, all of the links to these sketches will be in the description down below, so if you want to watch the entire sketch, and honestly they're pretty great, you'll have access to it, just come back to this video and check out the links down below to watch them all. Alright, let's go ahead and jump into this list. First up, we can look back to when Scarlett Johansson was a guest and did a pretty great monologue sketch on Saturday Night Live, and it led to some really great moments just to kick things off.
And SNL feels like a home to me now.
Skojo!
Oh, hey, what's up? I mean, okay, Mac. I haven't seen you in a while.
I know. Well, I was actually at the Oscars with you, remember?
I didn't see you there. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, it was my first time there, and apparently there are tears.
Then we have this really great sketch, which is super relevant for nowadays, back from 2015, when they did a parody on Saturday Night Live for a standalone Black Widow film, which was really funny because not only back then did they do a ton of references to Age of Ultron, which was the Avengers film coming out at the time, but they just did a really funny parody trailer which frames the Black Widow standalone movie as almost a romantic comedy with some serious drama, which is hilarious just because of how the industry was really towards characters like Black Widow getting a standalone film, and it's kind of great to see that all these years later this is actually happening, but in a more serious tone. But here's the funny take, kind of making a parody of the industry and just this comical trailer to a Black Widow standalone film.
But it can also be incredible. Where you go?
Paris, France.
But if you go Paris, then who help Hulk? Eat ice cream. Black Widow, Age of Me. Marvel, we know girls.
We then have the popular scene called Hollywood Dish, which also has Scarlett Johansson in it, where she's apparently on a celebrity news show, and they try to encourage her to not only talk about a Tony nomination, but then the questions kind of get derailed a little bit.
Being on stage in New York, it's such an incredible feeling. The whole experience was magical. You know, I want to do it all over again, you know? I'm sorry, is there something wrong? Oh, no, you're doing fine. We just don't want to ruin your audio.
Yeah, we can't make sounds when you talk.
Oh, okay, I see what you're talking about.
Sky Joe!
Then we can jump to the scene called Translator, which is really, really funny, where essentially three scientists, one of them being Scarlett Johansson, kind of get a little bit surprised when they show off their brand new invention, which is essentially a machine that translates for pets. It's a really unique concept, to say the least.
Hang on, it worked, I swear. Now boost the signal. Max, speak.
Woof, woof, woof. Hi, I'm Max. It's me, Max.
Oh my God.
I like to play ball. I like Purple Bird in the window.
Then we can look to Zoo Pornographer, which is a really quality sketch where essentially they do a parody on a lot of these morning talk shows that are on television in local areas, and essentially they interview an animal photographer, but things get a little bit taken away when you realize the concept that's going on here. It's honestly very well written, and the performance between all the actors, including Scarlett Johansson, is really on point for this sketch.
Thanks. Well, Oh, I see a lot of tweets coming in from the Good Day Denver Live tweeters. You've got some fans, Danny.
Ooh.
At Karen in Aspen says, watching on mute at the gym, what the F is happening? Well, I guess you can't believe you have such a cool job. How did you get started?
Well, I started with amateur.
Then we can jump to the funeral service sketch from 2017, which has Scarlett Johansson and Kenan Thompson playing characters who decide the best thing to do is a full musical tribute for their friend who recently passed away at a funeral. Here's the clip.
Here is my butt as I lean against the wall. I drop it to the ground, baby.
Turn on the fan and watch the hair blow.
Let it roll tight like a dog yo-yo.
Here is my my butt. Yes.
Mrs. Green, I hope that brought you some peace.
Then if we go back a little bit further to 2015, we can look at the Girlfriends talk show, which has Scarlett Johansson playing a character named Camden, who was apparently a former prom queen who decides that it's the best time to share her tips for how not to be ratchet at prom. It's actually a really funny sketch. It's simple, but it definitely kind of shows that Scarlett Johansson can do more than just one type of role and take on a lot of these comedic types of characters as well.
No, you don't. No one knows yet.
Yeah, I know, and I'm sitting tight on it. Because the principal told Donna, and Donna told me because she knows how good I am at keeping secrets because I'm very trustworthy.
The prom theme is Imagine All the People. Morgan told me.
Kira! Do you realize what you've just done? You may have ruined my trust with at least 2 or more people.
This next one is not only funny, but also bizarre, but it's Smorgasbord, which is actually an iconic scene that they have aired multiple times, especially around the Thanksgiving season and Christmas season. But it's pretty funny because it's just a funny take on a lot of these cooking shows, but they decided to add an extra Swedish spin to it, which leads to just a ton of hilarious moments. SNL does a great job at parodying a lot of the cooking shows, but this one is definitely one of the best ones that they've done.
How does one go about making pickled herring and go slowly for us beginners?
First, take the herring, place in a jar of brine. Wait for herring to be pickled.
How long must I wait?
45 minutes of daylight.
So 5 days?
One thing that's more recently happened in the SNL sketches is where we see Scarlett Johansson do a lot of parodies of Ivanka Trump. And in this next short sketch that they did, they essentially do a parody of Ivanka Trump by introducing a new perfume called Complicit. Here's the clip.
Oh, how we see her. Complicit. A feminist. An advocate, a champion for women, but like, how? She's loyal, devoted, but probably should have bounced after the whole Access Hollywood bust thing. Oh well.
Then we can jump to Shud the Mermaid, which is a very interesting sketch to say the least, but essentially it follows a marooned pilot who is forced to marry one of 3 mermaids. Scarlett Johansson in this one plays the friend of Shud the Mermaid, and it's interesting to say the very least.
Oh, God.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's hot.
That's When you've had enough, say when.
When? Please don't do that ever again. Anyway, I never imagined I would one day marry a mermaid.
Oh.
And then finally, we have Shawnice Goodwin Ninja Rivals. And this sketch is just so much fun because it does such a great job at teaming up Leslie Jones and Scarlett Johansson to go and rescue Bobby Monahan, for some reason, from a British mob. The concept itself is crazy enough, but it actually works really well here for this sketch. Here's a clip.
Oh, yes. I sense a presence.
You're bluffing. There's no one here. Look!
But which sketch do you think that Scarlett Johansson was the absolute best in? Leave a comment down below and let us know what you think, and let us know if you think she should reappear on SNL soon. Also be sure to subscribe with notifications on for more videos just like this, and we'll see you all next time with a brand new video. Bye guys.
I'm about to.
Hi everybody.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Hi. See you guys.